Your best death now. A Raven Darkblade. Mystery. Chapter 4. Viva, Las Vegas. Death Vegas. The Mirage Hotel and Casino rose from the Las Vegas Strip like a monument to false hope and free drinks. The annual Life Optimization Summit had taken over the entire convention center, flooding it with people who believed success was just one seminar away. Raven stood in the lobby, currently 5 feet 8 inches due to intimidation by a motivational poster that screamed, "You are limitless," in fonts that suggested otherwise. FBI agents were scattered throughout the convention, disguised as attendees by carrying vision boards and wearing name tags that said things like, "Hi, I'm Agent Smith. I'm manifesting abundance." 3,000 potential victims, Agent Powersuit muttered, scanning the crowd. How do we find one killer among people who all paid $500 to be told they're special? Look for someone not taking notes, Raven suggested, because that seems safe. Brilliant, Dr. Psychobabble said. The killer would be too focused on selecting victims to engage with the material, observing rather than participating. That wasn't what Raven meant, but he was getting used to being accidentally right. The convention floor was chaos orchestrated to upbeat music. Booths selling everything from success water, regular water, $30, to millionaire mindset crystals, regular crystals, $300. The main stage featured a banner, "Unleash Your Inner Titan with Tony Robbins." "We should split up," Squarejaw suggested. "Cover more ground." "I'll check the..." Raven paused, looking around for the least threatening area. Book vendor tables. For book clues. "Of course," Powersuit exclaimed. "The killer would need to source their props. Excellent thinking." Raven wandered toward the book vendors, where self-help authors sat behind towers of their own work, signing copies for eager believers. He was pretending to browse Chicken Soup for the Soul, Volume 47, this time it's personal, when chaos erupted from the wellness section. "We've got another body!" someone screamed, which wasn't very wellness-oriented. The victim was found in the meditation room, seated in perfect lotus position, the power of now open in his lap. He appeared peaceful, except for being dead. "How did he die?" Squarejaw asked. The coroner looked troubled. "Sensory deprivation, complete and total. His eyes were covered with meditation masks, ears plugged with noise-canceling foam so dense it blocked everything. Nose clips. Even his mouth was sealed after he took what appears to be a paralytic that prevented movement but kept him conscious." "Dear God," Dr. Psychobabble breathed. He was trapped in the ultimate now. No future, no past, no sensory input except his own consciousness. Unable to move, speak, or sense anything until the now became never. Raven finished, surprising himself with poetry. The book was annotated. Be present. Be still. Be dead. The report card read, Student Norman Nowness. Subject Present Moment Awareness. Grade F. Comments. Achieved perfect presence. For God presence requires a pulse. Around the body, the killer had arranged items representing all the things the victim would never need again. Calendars, no future. Photo albums, no past. A watch stopped at the moment of death, no time. The killer gave him exactly what the book promised. Keyboard warrior said quietly. Pure presence. No distractions. Just consciousness experiencing itself until it couldn't. The killer's still here, Power Suit announced. They couldn't have gone far. Lock down the convention. There! Agent First Name pointed. Someone running from the meditation room. A figure in a janitor's uniform was pushing a cart filled with what looked like cleaning supplies, but were actually copies of various self-help books. He was heading for the service exit when he tripped over a display of Think and Grow Rich, sending books flying. Stop! Squarejaw shouted. The janitor scrambled to his feet, grabbing one of the scattered books as a weapon. It was a thick hardcover, Better Than Before, by Marcus Betterment. Nobody move, Marcus screamed, holding his own failed book like a brick. I'll throw it. Sir, put the book down, Power Suit said calmly. You don't understand. Marcus's disguise was falling apart. Fake mustache askew, janitor cap sliding off to reveal his balding head. They promised my book would change lives, but it only sold 12 copies. 12! Do you know what that does to a man's Amazon ranking? We can talk about this, Raven offered, mainly because he was standing furthest from the book weapon. Talk? Talk? Marcus laughed bitterly. That's all these people do. Talk about change, post about transformation. But they don't change. They just buy the next book, and the next, while my book, my truth, gathers dust. He raised the book higher, and in his agitation, didn't notice the actual janitor's cart rolling toward him, pushed by an annoyed convention worker who wanted his cart back. The collision was spectacular. Marcus fell backward, his own book flying up in a perfect arc before coming down spine first onto his head with a crack that suggested Better Than Before had a very sturdy binding. Is he, First Name began. Killed by his own book, the coroner confirmed after a quick check. Blunt force trauma from, let's see, Chapter 7, The Weight of Your Past Decisions. Hardcover edition, very literal. Ironic, Raven said. He died exactly like his book sales, suddenly and with very little impact on anyone else. That's cold, Psychobabble noted, impressed. The gallows humor of genius returns. Case closed, Power Suit said, staring at Marcus's body. In the most literal way possible. At least he died doing what he loved, Raven offered. Being bitter about his book sales. The convention slowly returned to normal, though several attendees were now eyeing the hardcover books suspiciously. Tony Robbins took the stage to talk about overcoming adversity and the importance of paperback editions. I'm needed in Crimson City, Raven said, his standard excuse for avoiding any job that required consistency. Of course, but the offer stands. As the FBI celebrated their capture, Raven found himself back at the book vendor tables. Something was bothering him. Not about the case. That was solved. Marcus Betterment, bitter failed guru, killing successful self-help readers out of jealousy. Open and shut. But something nagged at him. He picked up a book someone had left behind, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and noticed something in the corner. A sticker. Crimson City Public Library. His height shot to 6 feet 3 inches with sudden realization. He grabbed another abandoned book. Same sticker. Different due date. "Oh my God," he whispered. Every victim's book, every crime scene. They all had library stickers. All from his hometown. All with due dates that matched. "Everything okay?" Agent First Name asked, appearing beside him. "Fine," Raven said, shoving the books aside. "Just browsing." She left, and Raven pulled out his phone, scrolling through the crime scene photos Jenny had sent him. There, in every photo, if you looked closely, knew what to look for, Crimson City library stickers. The victims weren't random. They weren't chosen from social media. They were library patrons with overdue books. The murders happened on the due dates. But Marcus Betterment wasn't a librarian. He'd never even been to Crimson City. Which meant, "Ready to head back?" Power Suit called. "Yeah," Raven said, pocketing his phone. "Just need to make a quick stop when I get home." "Oh? Library. Need to return some books." Power Suit laughed. "Even genius detectives have overdue fines, huh?" "Something like that," Raven said. On the flight home, while the FBI congratulated themselves on catching a killer, Raven stared out the window and wondered. Marcus was guilty. He'd confessed, been caught mid-murder. Case closed. But those library stickers. His phone buzzed. A text from Jenny. "Saw the news. You caught him. BTW, Mrs. Shush from the library asked about you. Said she hopes you enjoyed your research materials. Weird, right?" Raven's blood ran cold. Another text. "Also found your library card in your old jacket. You have 47 overdue books from 2019. She said not to worry about the fines. Said you've paid enough, whatever that means." His height plummeted to 5 feet 5 inches. Marcus Betterment had killed those people. The FBI had evidence. Confession. Case closed. But someone had made sure those specific people, with those specific books, were in those specific places at those specific times. Someone who knew their due dates. Someone who'd written "See me after class" on every report card. Someone who'd been a librarian for 30 years. Raven deleted Jenny's texts. Some mysteries were better left unsolved. Some librarians were better left unhappy about overdue books than happy about murder. "Great work on the case," Squarejaw said, sitting beside him. "How did you really know about Vegas?" The geographic pattern was brilliant but wrong. Yet you were right anyway. "Lucky guess," Raven said, which was the truest thing he'd said all week. As Crimson City appeared below them, Raven made a mental note. Return the 47 books, pay the fines, apologize profusely, and never, ever mention the library stickers. Some patterns were meant to be seen. Others were meant to be forgotten. His height settled at 5 feet 9 inches, his keeping secrets altitude, for the rest of the flight home. The end. Check your library card, just in case. Author's note: if you identify as a Democrat, this is Trump's FBI. If you identify as a Republican, this is Biden's FBI. Any resemblance to the actual FBI is purely coincidental. And please, return your library books on time.